Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and in this video I want to cover how you can prepare for Season 18 and also probably what you should be doing in these final 3 weeks of Season 17. There's a little bit of both in here. We're going to talk about just the Season Pass itself and also how to take advantage of this Season Pass next season and also last Season Pass to make sure you get everything out of that. Seasonal challenges, couple tips, couple things that you might want to do, what you can skip. When it comes to crafting, just, making sure you're staying on top of that. Some catalysts that are very important to work on before the end of the season, and also leading into Season 18 with Arc 3.0. When it comes to bounty preparation for Season 18, why you should do it, how you should turn the bounties in, and what is the best way to prepare to make sure it's the most efficient use as possible. And you don't have to do any of this, which is the point, but I know some people want to be optimal, some people want to make the most use of their time, some people want to get ready for the raid race on Friday, 3 days after the season starts. So that's what's going to be covered in this video. So first thing we're going to dive into is what we're looking at right here in the Season Pass. So with regards to your current Season Pass, if you haven't finished the Season Pass, you got plenty of time to try and finish up and get everything that's in there, at least the first 100 ranks. If you have finished it, but you haven't picked things up, now is the time to kind of decide if you want to pick them up, and if you want to leave them out there to potentially have access to them next season. Now, the season of the Risen Season Pass, last season, you need to pull everything from that you may have missed. Now, how do you check that? So you'll go to Bungie.net, you'll log into your account, you'll click Season Progress. Once you do that, you're going to see your current Season Pass that you can click through, you can see what ranks you've got to, but you can also see previous season up here. If you have anything from the previous season unclaimed, for example, you can actually scroll down and see most of it. You can claim it. Like, looks like I didn't pick up a couple exotic Engrams from last season, so I can literally hit claim, and it's going to go straight onto my character. Now, depending on what exotics may be sitting out there, it is character specific. So if I need stuff for, like, my Warlock's missing 1 or 2 pieces, I need to claim those. If there's anything from the previous season, claim it all. If it's a Thoughtless and it has a bad set of perks on it, you can delete it. Grand Overture might just be a higher level going into the new season. If you've got Glimmer, get it all. Everything in the previous season, you need to pick it up. If you've got an Ascendant Shard sitting out there, make sure you masterwork a couple pieces of armor and get those things picked up. If you have an exotic Cypher you didn't pick up, because we don't always use those depending on what you're going for. Some of us do, some of us don't. I need to make sure, I get an extra roll at Xur and pick that thing up so I can claim it because it's going to be wasted otherwise. So if you have anything from the previous Season Pass, make sure you log into Bungie.net, check all your characters, claim it. Maybe it's an ornament, maybe it's an exotic, who knows? Claim everything from the previous Season Pass. That's important so it's not lost forever. As for the current Season Pass, you probably want to claim most things, but if you want to leave, a couple exotic Engrams, maybe you don't have space for the shards for Season of the Haunted, since you just may have claimed something from Season of the Risen, that's okay. Stuff from Season of the Haunted will still be available next season through Bungie.net, so if you don't get anything, it's not as big of a deal. So, you can debate if you want to keep something out there or not. It's totally up to you. Just saying, go through your Season Pass, go through the previous Season Pass on Bungie.net, clean them all out, pick up all your stuff, make sure you get everything. When it comes to seasonal challenges, now is the time to knock them out because next season you won't be able to. Piece of advice, Solstice does have 1 more week as of me recording this video, a week and a day technically, but basically a week. So if you haven't done that one yet and you want to, you probably should. Also, when it comes to bounty prepping, which I'm going to cover a little later in the video, I would not hold on to any bounties with relation to Solstice. So if you got a Solstice bounty, don't save it, turn it in. It's not worth risking because the event's going away. They may strip the bounties as well. So it's not worth keeping anything related to Solstice in your quests or bounties. Get rid of them all. But with regard to your seasonal challenges, you've got a lot that you can do, and some of it's optional, but you may miss out on some cool things. You can get 4,000 Bright Dust if you do 72 out of the 75 challenges. It's up to you if you want to, but you can skip 3 challenges. So for some people, they may want to skip doing rounds and trials. They may want to skip something like a Grandmaster Nightfall. But picture what you think is going to be you're capable of doing in the next 3 weeks and plan accordingly. You're like, okay, am I eventually going to put some time into trials and get rounds? Not matches, rounds 1, probably. But on the other side, do I want to acquire the ornament for Gambit that requires 2 resets? Probably not. We actually just already had the double Gambit reputation, or it's ending, today's the last day for it, whatever it may be. I don't really want to grind out that much Gambit. Now, will I probably end up doing some Gambit, defeat Taken in Gambit, earn points in Gambit? Sure, I'll do some of that. But is that going to remotely get me close to 2 reputation resets in Gambit? Absolutely not. So this is one I'm just going to skip. Easy enough. Something for Opulent Umbral Energy. Obviously, I wouldn't skip that one because, one, it's not that hard to do. Just use an Arc subclass. Don't touch the Scythe and you're good. And you'll, get some of that energy for crafting. So go through, pick the ones you think you might do. If you're going to skip the Trials one, the Gambit reset, and then the Grandmaster, for example, that means you are probably going to need to do the Vanguard. You're going to need to get the Vanguard ornament. If you don't have enough time to do all the reputation resets, you're going to need to spend some time in Trials. You're going to need to do a Grandmaster. Now, don't be too scared of a Grandmaster. The Arms Dealer is still coming up in rotation, maybe in, I think, a week and a half, like whenever the 9th is going to be. I've soloed that one, so if you can find 3 random people to do Arms Dealer, I think most people can finish a Grandmaster. It's really not that bad. Not asking you to get Conquer, but it's not that bad. But generally, a lot of these are very doable if you want to. If you want to stock up on some Bright Dust, you can go through and do everything that actually has Bright Dust attached to it, and then if you do enough, you'll get the 4,000 on top. And remember, a set of armor for like the season, if they do an Arc 3.0 armor set or whatever, it's about 6,000 Bright Dust. So if you think that might be an armor set you want to use as ornaments, that may be something you want to do. But now is your time to look through your challenges, know that you can skip 3, and then plan accordingly. Like, I'm not grinding out Gambit, but I gotta find an LFG somehow to maybe get a Grandmaster done. Pick and choose which ones you're gonna skip, start knocking stuff out. The other thing to think about is you've only got 3 weeks left as of recording this video, because Clash is up right now, so you have 3 weeks starting tomorrow. Scorched Earth is going to be requiring some time in Team Scorched. You may see that one of the next 3 weeks, but you're not going to see it in all of them. So pay attention to what the Crucible playlist is. You're also going to probably see Momentum Control one more time. I think you'll see both of those one more time. If you missed Iron Banner, you missed it. So this could be one that you have to skip if you're going for the 4,000 Bright Dust. That may mean you need to do something else. So keep that in mind. Look through all the ones that you may or may not have done. And if you're trying to take advantage of as many of these things as possible for Bright Dust, now is the time to start working on all of this and, check as many boxes as you can. When it comes to weapon crafting, you've got a guaranteed, whether it be a Opulent or a Nightmare weapon that you can get 1 a week. It takes you 3 runs in Nightmare Containment, which is not that hard to do. And you get a guaranteed red, a deep sight weapon. So I've got, I could do Fire Fright. I could knock out my last 2 there. If I want to work on Scout Rifle, I need 2 more there. I think Beloved, I need a few more. So I've got a couple ones that I'm definitely going to be able to work on some crafting. I may not knock all of these out, but again, every week, make sure you're logging in, getting the crafting one that you're going for. And if you really want to spend some time, you're going to be looking for opulent keys and all the farming. But the other thing with regards to kind of this patterns and catalyst is the catalysts. And the most important one that I'm going to tell you, just because it's the easiest time to do it. If you have the season pass, you have the bonus progression on Trespasser because we got it this season. It quadruples your progress. So you need to go through Banshee and do the requirements to actually get the catalyst. Once you have the catalyst, then you can kill the targets, and that's just the number of targets that you have to kill. But the progression through Banshee's quest is 4 times faster once you hit like season rank 22, which I'm sure all of you have. Knock out the progression, get yourself the catalyst. Now, Arc 3.0 is also coming next season. So you've got things like Trespasser, which is Arc 3.0. Maybe Sidearms are, another mod for champions. Trinity Ghoul. If you don't have this catalyst, it changes the bow. Bows could be coming back into champion use. Could be absolutely crucial to get Trinity Ghoul because Arc 3.0 builds may take advantage of this. Finally, you've got Risk Runner. Risk Runner could be busted in PvP with the damage mitigation with a lot of people running Arc. You take Arc damage, you do less damage. Now your submachine gun does more. Then it chains to people. You could see a lot of Risk Runners in PvP, so you're going to want to make sure you have it as well. But also in PvE, it's very, very good at damage mitigation, killing lots of enemies. And again, we tend to see SMGs and auto rifles in a lot of champion uses, so this may be something very crucial. Now is the time as you're running around doing a whole bunch of random stuff. Try and knock out as many catalysts as you can just naturally by, power weapons. Those are one of those things. If you're going to do a power weapon, Shirochi's probably the best one. But if you got an energy weapon like Skyburn or Catalyst, I just need to kill Cabal enemies. Well, depending on where I'm running around, I could probably just run around the Nightmare, the Derelict Leviathan and knock this one out. So if you got any catalysts you need to work on, it's a good time to do it. But Risk Runner, Trinity Ghoul, and for sure Trespasser, knock these 3 out because Arc 3.0 could use any of those. When it comes to going into a future season, make space in your vault. Now, I am terrible at this. Anybody who's watched a stream or something of me knows my vault is usually very full. I need to spend some time and clean some stuff out because I don't have that many spots. And you don't want to go into a new season and have to worry about vault management or anything of that nature. So you got to make some tough decisions. Watch one of those Datto videos because he's done a ton of them, and clean up your vault. Get you at least 100 spaces in there, because that's my goal, is to probably get down to 500 or maybe 450 and clean some stuff up. Make some tough decisions, because you know we continue to get new stuff, and Nightfall may give us some crazy thing where half the stuff we have isn't good. If you haven't used it in a year, you probably aren't going to be using it unless it's some very specific role. Got to make some hard decisions. I need to as well. I know I get, you know, pot kettle situation, believe me, but clean out your vault. Make, when you log in next season, an easier time, because you're going to get a lot of new stuff. You're going to get a lot of red frames. You're going to be crafting new weapons. Now's the time. Another thing to do right now is just set up your ghost for next season. Set it and forget it. Now, if you're doing specific things, like maybe you're grinding strikes and you want to, you know, have a chance for enhancement prisms to drop when you're defeating bosses in Nightfalls or strikes, sure. But the big thing is, don't forget to set your ghost up when you get to next season to get as much experience as fast as possible, and that is to make sure Blinding Light is equipped when the new season starts. You get 12%. This mod isn't going anywhere, and they'll just replace it when it comes to, you know, season 20, so it'll be fine. But the idea is you get that 12%. You don't want to log into an alternate character, have a ghost on with something weird, before you log out for the end of this season at a minimum, but just set it and forget it now if you can. Blinding Light, 12% experience. Make sure that thing is equipped when you start next season. You do not want to forget about this one when you turn in like 180 bounties. If you do bounty prep, this would be really terrible to miss out on. So just set it, forget it, don't even think about it. And now we come to the bounty preparation piece of this video. Now, you don't have to do this at all. I promise you it's not required, depending on what you're doing. But if you're a content creator, we are going to be doing this. You can be like, hey, take it slow, don't burn through all the content. But then when you go search for a video, who's you going to find? The people who grinded through it first. So yes, that's why we do this. The other side is, you have 72 hours from when the season launches to when the new raid launches. If you have any entertainment of trying to not even be first in the raid race, but trying to complete the 24-hour challenge for the emblem and stuff, which depending on whatever raid it is, people are probably going to want those emblems. There's an advantage to making sure, one, your level as high as possible, so when that 24 hours ends, you can also start going after whatever that thing has to offer. But, and I say whatever that thing because we don't know the raid yet, but the other thing is the artifact. It's probably been said multiple times, but you never quite know what mods are going to be in this final column. It's a lot of grinding to get out to this column. You need 14 slots unlocked. You're going to be doing a decent amount of stuff as we, you know, have those first 72 hours, but getting a head start on this is really, really big, because if there's a mod at the level of Classy Restoration or, you know, the grenade damage one or linear fusion one of the mods in this column is going to be a beast. There usually is one that tends to stand out. And if that helps you early on, if it helps you when it comes to the raid race or trying to do that 24-hour challenge, it could be a game changer. You just don't know. So if you're interested in the raid race and getting a head start, this is one of those things you are going to need to do, because these mods are worth unlocking. And without, you know, prepping bounties, it is going to be a lot of grinding in those 3 days already. And then you might have a 24-hour raid challenge. If you unlock what you're going for a little earlier, you might get a better chance to sleep. So again, it depends on the audience that this is going to be for. But the idea is, there are benefits to it. It's just up to you if you want to do it. That's why I say this is kind of optional. Now, each character is going to have a total of 63. And it's probably something related to code with like 0 through 64 or whatever it is. But the idea, because it's a multiple of 8, if you go 0 through 63, it's 64 spots. That's my guess. Still never know. But you have quests, and then you have bounties. They both take up the same 63. So you're going to want to trim out any quests. If you have anything hanging out there, like this is for, you know, random roll on, what is that, the SMG or something, I'll go, you know, go do some random stuff on the moon and knock this out. But if you have any important quests, don't delete them just to make space for a bounty. Save them, still work on them, that's fine. But if you have like useless quests that are just like taking up space, yeah, clean those out. And when it comes to bounties, I already told you guys, don't worry about saving Solstice stuff. It's not worth the risk, could go away. Kind of sucks to do all the work and miss out. And then on the other side, don't do any bounty, don't save any bounty that shows XP and no pluses next to it. So you'll notice this one has XP++. That's worth 12,000. And XP Plus is worth 6,000. If it just says XP in the amount of experience you get, you're only going to get 3,000. And if you have anything that looks like this, which is usually like the additional bounties, the repeatable ones, anything that from vendors where you can like, you'll buy the first 4 dailies, anything after that, don't save. Because if it has XP, you're wasting space. Now, what should you keep? Petra's a nice example because she has the weekly bounties and then she has the daily bounties. XP plus, XP plus plus. Those are the only types that should be in your inventory. Your goal is to have as many of the XP plus plus weekly bounties in your inventory as possible, and then fill in any space you have with dailies. Now, daily bounties are basically everywhere. You've got Petravenge, and you can go through different vendors. You've got, you know, Devrim K on the EDZ. You've got Shahan on, you know, Cosmodrome. And then when it comes to daily bounties, it's all of these guys. You've got Zavala, you've got Shax, you've got Banshee, you've got Gambit. Anything that is a daily bounty that shows XP plus, you've got Finch, you've got Varix. They're everywhere. So the idea is priority is as many weekly bounties as you can get possible now. And then over the course of the next 3 weeks, just start filling any gaps in space that you've got with daily bounties. And my advice is when you pick up a weekly bounty that you've got to do, I need to go run Blindwell and probably have to run it twice if you do the unstable challenge. But while I'm doing that, maybe there's a public event nearby. Knock out part of that progress. Collect Berry and Bow. Maybe I'm around. Put that thing on my ghost. Kill enemies in the Dreaming City. Just going to happen. Not really difficult to do. Complete a Lost Sector. Maybe that'll happen for whatever reason. Chamber of Starlight matches really well with the Ascendant Challenge today. And again, I'm recording this on Monday, so if you see this on a different day, things can change. But that's the idea. As many weeklies as possible. Fill in everything else with dailies. If it says XP and no plus, that should not be a saved bounty, no matter where it's from, and don't save anything from Solstice. So dailies you can get anywhere. As I said, Shax, Zavala, Finch. I mean, there's so many. You can go to the Helm. You can do Throne World. They're everywhere. So those are not the difficult ones. There are weekly bounties that have some intricacies to them, so that's what I'm going to go through now. Now, when it comes to weekly bounties, some vendors have bounties that stay exactly the same every week. So if I go in and I talk to Petra, or I talk to Eris Morn, their weekly bounties are not going to change. You still want to do them once per character, but you can do them anytime over the next 3 weeks. They're not that big of a deal. This one, for example, if I do my Blindwell activity completion percentage, when I do it, I'm done. Don't have to worry about it for the next 3 weeks. There are also weekly bounties for certain vendors that have a rotation. Petra's got some, Varix has some, and then Hawthorne, the clan, which I'll show you last because I know not everybody's got a clan or is active in one. But the idea is some of these, you can stack up multiple weekly bounties because they rotate. Petra's got this one, for example. There are 6 Ascendant challenges. In theory, if you started this 6 weeks ago, or, you know, with 6 weeks left in the season, you could do one of these every week and have 6 weekly bounties saved. Now, obviously I'm not making this video soon enough, but don't worry. I don't think I've ever done more than 1 week of bounty prep, and I still can usually hit 20 something in the season pass, like 21, 22. It's not a big deal if you miss those. But if you got 3 weeks and you've got some time, and if you see this thing on the first day I upload this, then technically you'll have 3 weeks and a day, so you got 4 weeks. Now, for Petra, for example, you're going to have the Ascendant Challenge. If you pick this one up today, this is on August 1st, before weekly reset, you can do this Ascendant Challenge, and then tomorrow when weekly reset happens, come back here and you're going to be able to do a new one of these. So you could accumulate 4. If you see this any day after August 1st, you'll be able to do 1 for 3 weeks left in the season, 1 for 2 weeks left in the season, and 1 for 1 week left in the season. That's the most you'll be able to do. But again, they're not that hard to do. If you haven't ever done the Ascendant challenges, go look up, you know, somewhere. Like there's so many things, like today in Destiny will probably tell you what it is, where the Ascendant challenge is, and what it takes. They're not that bad. I've done so many videos on them. This one is in the Chamber of Starlight. They're cool though. If you've never seen them before, they're actually fun to do. But the idea is you can save up more than one of these, and it's just going to save you that much more experience. So if you can stack a couple of these, you know, rotating weekly bounties, you may as well. So the rotators are at Petravenge here with the Ascendant Challenge. If you catch it today on Monday, you've got 1. And then week of August 2nd, you've got 2. Week of August 9th, you've got 3. Week of August 16th, you've got 4. That would be 4 of those plus this one. Theoretically, if you catch it today, you could have 5. If you catch it tomorrow on August 6th for like reset, for example, no big deal. You're just going to miss one of these. And none of it matters. It's like 6,000 experience difference between a daily and a weekly. It just depends on how optimal you're trying to be. So Petra has these 2 weekly bounties. Now let me go to Varix and explain him. Varix is similar. He's got Courageous Expedition, so do Lost Sectors events. You do this once per character, it's not going to rotate or change. But he also has the weekly bounty related to the Empire Hunt of the week. Now there are 3 Empire Hunts. So as I know I'm uploading this on August 1st, if you do 1 for each week that you see this active, then you can do 1 each week. You don't have to rush on this. You're not going to miss out anything by missing this video by a day. But maybe you catch this video 2 weeks before the end of the season. Well, then you'll be able to do 2 of the Empire Hunts. Usually what I'll do, because you need precision kills while you're doing it, and then also actually the final, basically, quest step. So this one is the Warrior. Come down here, start the Warrior quest. I would go through all the steps while having the bounty. So pick up the bounty, pick up this, go through all the steps for the quests, and then when you finish it up, if you've got anything else left on your precision kills to do, all you would do is go into the Warrior Empire Hunt again, make sure you get some precision kills, and finish up the bounty. Not too bad to do, and you'll have a pair each week. So next week it could be the Dark Priestess, the week after that it could be the Technocrat, and then depending on when you're watching this video, you might be seeing this on like August 2nd. Well, then the final week would probably turn around and have the Warrior again. So as long as you catch, each one of these on a week, you'll be good. You don't have to worry about catching this one on Monday. Tuesday will be fine. Just wanted to let you guys know. There's only so there's a total of 4. 1, then 2, 3, and 4. Once you have 4 weeklies from him, you're good. Another guy with weekly bounties, and the only time you probably visit him during the entire season is Shah Han, and it's very simple. Do 2 public events. If one of them's heroic, you only have to do 2, and then 25 kills with Arc, Solar, and Void. These never rotate or change, so knock them out per character over the course of 3 weeks, and you're good to go. So on the moon, you've got 2 sets. You've got one over here with Eris. Again, these don't rotate or change, so you just got to do them once. You've got Waves and Altars of Sorrow, which I know it doesn't show XP, but this does count as a weekly XP++. Same thing here. You've got your clear each lost sector 1 time and save this one, and this also counts as XP++. So both of these, they don't rotate, so over the course of the next 3 weeks, just knock them out once per character. And then for the Lectern of Enchantment, you've also got 2. Defeat Nightmares and Nightmare Hunts. So go to Nightmare Hunts on the moon and kill them till that one's done. Very simple. And then defeat Nightmare Hunts and Lost Sectors across the solar system. I think the easiest one to do that specific bounty, if you go to the Widow's Walk, there's 4 Shanks that are Nightmares, and then the boss is actually a Nightmare. So if you farm this one a few times, it goes quickly because there's quite a few Nightmares in here. It's a small lost sector, very easy to farm. So my recommendation, I think Widow's Walk is one of the quickest ones to do, and I think everybody should have access to knock that one out. Same thing, they never rotate, they never change, so once you have it done, you're good to go. Now, Xur only has daily bounties, so if you do need to get a couple daily bounties, you can pick up a couple there, but your only weekly bounty in Dares of Eternity comes from Starhorse. Now, he's got a couple options, but you do not need to go for the gold medal out here. XP++ also counts for here and here. So over the course of the next 3 weeks, figure out which one of these looks good. And I think these rotate quite frequently. So if hand cannon precision kills or maybe an arc sword doesn't seem optimal to you, give it a day, see if it changes. And yeah, so give it a next week and see if it changes. But at some point, you may as well just like grab a sword, knock out the 180k. If you don't get 100k on one run, you'll probably get 180k on the next run. So usually not too bad, but yeah, one of these is worth picking up and knocking out, whichever one you find easiest, and then you're good. But Xur does not have any weeklies, it's just Starhorse. Alright, so outside of like Banshee and Shax and Zavala and the Drifter all having daily bounties, those are a good way to fill in a bunch of daily bounties. Sometimes they'll rotate every day, sometimes you'll see a duplicate, but eventually there are enough daily bounties to fill in all the holes that you may need with regards to bounty space. So the final set of weeklies is for Hawthorne, and it's all related to a clan. Now, if you're not in a clan right now, I would look for one on Bungie.net or somewhere and find one that seems like reasonable people. You might find some cool people, you never know, try and find some in your time zone or whatever. But the main reason I would say for anybody to be in a clan is to make sure you can always get the weekly Pinnacle / Powerful. It says tier 2, but when you get to the Pinnacle grind, it counts as a +1 Pinnacle, so it is always worth being in a clan just for that, even if they're not active. Now, if you're in an active clan and you play with these people, then you've also got rotations on the Gambit one, rotations on the Crucible one, where I think you can get like 3 of these, and you've also got complete a raid with clanmates, and then the Nightfall. Now, I may have the rotation screwed up, but Hawthorne has potentially like 8 weekly bounties that you could stock up, I think, in theory. So there's a lot of XP possible here that you know, if you're in an active clan, that you can definitely take advantage of. If you're not in a clan, I would look for one, see if there's some cool people out there that you might want to at least, you know, have a name on you and be able to get that Pinnacle. But if you have active clan members, this is a good amount of experience that you can save up. And I think that covers just about everything. So, I mean, make sure your season pass from last season and this season is where you want it. Take this time to start knocking out those seasonal challenges if you want some Bright Dust. Craft any weapons that you can. Make sure, you know, take advantage of those weekly guarantees that you've got. Any catalyst, especially that Trespasser catalyst, finish the Banshee requirements while they're still easy to do. And then, you know, make sure your Ghost is equipped with a percentage, clean out your vault and be ready. And if you're bounty prepping, then hopefully this guide helps guide you in the right direction. And if you're, you know, really trying to bounty prep for the raid race or just to try and get a jump on the season, something to do over these last 3 weeks, then this should have helped you out. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like below. If you got a question about anything or just want to say hello, drop that into the comments. And if there's something major, I'll pin a comment up at the top if I miss something big. If you want to find me on Twitter or Twitch, it is Ebontis. I will be streaming on August 23rd, 1 for the showcase. We'll be breaking that thing down while servers are probably down that morning for the new season and checking out probably the Nightfall reveal and stuff like that as the tease for what's coming in the future. So if you haven't followed me on Twitch, I'll be doing that streaming there and also stream variety over there right here on YouTube. If you haven't subbed yet, you guys know I'm going to have lots of guides coming to you for the new season. I'll have stuff peppered out the rest of this season. So if you aren't subbed yet, hit that subscribe button, hit the alert bell. If you guys are YouTube members or Patreon subs already, thank you for that extra support. All of you guys are awesome. I will see you soon.